And Sam Kennedy joins us this week on the Harbor One Hotline. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Not going to lie, Greg, a little tired this morning, but good to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you here, and some good stuff to talk about. I just from my perspective, so far, and I know it's early, but has this team maybe outperformed what you thought they would have by this point in the season?
Well, it's been a good feel. We had a great night last night in Atlanta. I think everyone knows what Kenley did, and just the vibe in the clubhouse on the flight home. It's a fun group. They really care about each other, and obviously it's really early, but it's great to be off to a decent start in a very tough division. But it's really good to see so far.
Sam, a lot of people give Heim, a lot of bad garbage, a lot of ish, but talk about the move he made with Kenley and what he's obviously been able to accomplish just in a short period of time. It looks like, it's been a while since we had that guy that you can look at and go, okay, we know that's the guy in the bullpen at the end of a game who's going to come in and who's going to be nails.
Yeah, I think Wiggy, having been around here a long time, you have to have that closer in the back end of the bullpen if you want to do anything in the American League East. And so it's great to have someone to fill that role. And I'll tell you that the respect and admiration for this guy from his teammates is remarkable. So he's been huge, and let's hope he can continue. I mean, he was ramping it up to 99 last night. He wanted number 400 pretty bad. It was really fun to see.
Sam, when you look at the series that you guys have had, you guys are winning all of them. The last time you lost a series was back with the Rays. Is that how you look at a season, instead of just wins and losses, but making sure that you take care of a series against a different team?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Winning series is the name of the game, and you just kind of try to notch as many wins as you can, especially early in the season. It's really been challenging when we haven't gotten off to good starts. So now we're just trying to take the season in small chunks, win series, and move on. I mentioned the division. While we're playing pretty well, we find ourselves middle of the pack here in the American League East just because of how tough it is. So yeah, if you win series, good things are going to happen.
Sam, one guy we always kind of talk about here, it's obviously Chris Sale and, what he's been able to do in these past couple of starts that he's had. I think I was listening on the broadcast, and they were talking about how, his velocity was kind of ridiculous, and it seems like it hasn't been at where it was. I think it was like in the high 90s or something like that. What are you starting to see from maybe Sale just with velocity and the way he's throwing the baseball that maybe might give you the glimpse of, oh, maybe he could be the Chris Sale that we saw of old?
Yeah, I'll tell you, just being around the team the last couple of days and specifically being with him, what I'm noticing is the Chris Sale that is comfortable, highly confident, and the leader on this team. He's just really feeling good. I don't think he thinks he's where he needs to be yet, just in terms of the consistency and the command. But you mentioned the velocity's there, the stuff is there. But it's just great to be around Chris in a setting where, you can tell he's finally feeling better and comfortable and being a leader in this organization. That's what he's wanted for so long. So I'm really hopeful that can continue for him. We need him because he obviously sets the tone. He can be a stopper for us when he's at his best. And we need that from him.
Sam, Brian Bayo, a great outing for him yesterday. That's a guy that Chaim Bloom's been really high on. Alex Cora's been high on. Everyone's calling him Baby Pedro. Do you think that he is the future of this team when it comes to pitching?
Well, we need to develop young starting pitching in between him and Garrett Whitlock and Tanner Houck. Hopefully we've got a few good ones and a couple more good ones on the way. So, yeah, it's been great to see him and fun to see what he did last night. Also, he was leading the charge in the Kenley celebration. So the admiration and respect that he has for the veteran guys is fun to watch as well.
Sam, one thing that we kind of talk about here is we always talk about chemistry with teams. And you brought up Kenley a little bit and just some of the way that guys really respect him. We look at the Celtics, and it looks like there might be some things going on. When you look at the chemistry with this team, is it more about the players or is it more about maybe Alex Cora and how he demands whatever it is, respect, honesty in the clubhouse. What do you notice from your view of being around that? Is it a combination of both, or is it, Alex and the kind of way he runs his ship?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a combination of both. I mean, Alex will never take credit for anything. He's always giving it to his players, and he knows first and foremost in the big leagues, it's always about those guys out there between the lines. But we can't say enough about him as an organization, what he means to us, just in terms of getting the best out of players. He's got so much respect from veteran guys, and the young players look up to him. But I do think Chaim and BOH and the team have just done a great job of bringing in certain veterans, guys like JT, guys like Kenley, who come in and complement younger players who are learning from them. Obviously, Kike has taken on a huge leadership role. There's a great feeling in that room, and chemistry it's so important in sports. These are human beings with their own stories, their own struggles, and it's a grind in baseball. So hopefully this good feeling will continue.
Sam, I have to say I am surprised. The team has been very good to watch. The new way in which baseball is being played with the speed that we talked about, all off season has been great. But the approach to this roster has delivered results early. I had a question just on the general sport right now, which is the Oakland A's and the absolute bottom of baseball that has fallen out. I think the A's have won 5 games. Is there anything that you guys can do with the other owners to help motivate teams to try and be competitive? Because it feels like this year, more than most, has really seen the bottom fall out.
Yeah, it's been a difficult situation for baseball for decades now, Chris. As you point out, I go back to my early days at the San Diego Padres in the late 90s. We were worried and talking about the situation in Oakland. Look, that's why you can never say enough and never appreciate enough the fan base that we have here in New England and the support we get. It's remarkable. We've got to get that situation out there resolved. I'm reading and hearing about a move to Las Vegas. It's a shame. You hate to see a team relocate, but in the end, these sports teams are in many ways a public-private partnership. You have to have an ownership committed to the team, committed to the venue, which they have out there in Oakland. It's just they haven't been able, for whatever reason, to get a satisfactory venue together, and that's obviously hugely important. So, but it is sad to see, and hopefully they'll get it resolved because it'll be better for baseball if we can have healthy 30 clubs.
Speaking of the financial health of the game, Forbes on Monday, I think it was Monday, estimated that this season Otahni will be the first player to make $70 million, which I think 40 of that is from endorsements. Is
Greg Hill money.
That would then mean that New Deal he'll be making over $100 million a year. I mean, from your perspective, I'm sure that says a lot about the health of the game of baseball.
Well, I'll tell you, the game is healthy, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But it really does start and end with the fans, and the rule changes. Chris alluded to them, have been huge. I mean, look, it took 9 years at the minor league level to test out these rule changes. But what we did was a simple concept, but harder to execute, which was eliminate the dead time, the wasted time in our sport that was just not necessary. We created it by deploying so many analytics and creating so much information and allowing players to think out on the field and using that information. And now our players have adapted, and we're back to the best version of baseball. I'm obviously a baseball geek. I'm a baseball lover. I've loved it my whole life. I feel like I'm watching games from the 1970s and 80s and 90s that just move along and are far more interesting, athletic, more offense, and faster paced. So baseball's on a really good trajectory right now. We had great success. You mentioned Otahni. I mean, the World Baseball Classic was extraordinary. So we've really got the wind at our back across the game in baseball, and it's a good thing because baseball is so important to our country, and in this region, it means a lot.
All right, Sam. we will check in with you again and keep it going over there.
Thanks, guys. Good to be with you.
All right. Sam Kennedy and the Red Sox front office report, and $100 million a year.
Wow.
Well,
Because they're saying he's going to get his contract might be like $600 million.